check if I see you going.
Sweet.
Live.
Okay, it should be. It says it's streaming, so we'll see. Let me share my screen with you.
Alright. Okay, sweet.
All right.
Okay, I'll start sharing it everywhere. Because we're professionals.
You're a professional. I'm what you would call satisfactory.
Amateur professional.
Yeah. I do get enough done. Get the job done. That's all that matters.
Exactly. You're fine.
Right. Is it working?
Ooh, we have one viewer, so
It's
no.
probably me.
it's me actually.
Okay, it is working at least. Well, hopefully we get some more, because then I'm definitely not going to be getting any early access ever again. All right, hold on.
Take a look.
While we're waiting, I'm going to set these up so we can see our animals here. Oh, I didn't think that through, did I?
Oh, look who's there! The man, the myth, the legend,
Who?
Mr. Domez.
Oh, Gomez, what's up? I'm very prepared, as you can tell, from this work that I'm doing here. And I have Eben on because I know nothing about animals, and Eben does. So
Even pretends to know a lot about animals.
you know way more than I do. All right, that's interesting.
I'm trying to. Oh.
Hey, I actually have been working on my guest build, so hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, secret guest build that nobody was supposed to know about. Just Mr.
Well-
Domez. They won't tell anybody that we're going to guest build in St. Reginald and the two other people.
I didn't say the zoo. I didn't say the zoo. You did.
I like that.
Oops.
So at the start of the stream, we went on about how professional we are, and it's showing.
Yes. I promise we're actually going to look at this DLC at some point. I know that's not enough pens for the animals, but whatever. Make it work here.
It's fine.
Whoa.
It's fine. There's a bunch of animals that can be in the same habitat, so it's fine.
Okay. All right, good enough. Okay, so let's go in. Well, first thing I want to show is one of the things I'm most excited about, which is the ability to change staff colors.
Yes.
Which is amazing. So I'm guessing, where do you do that? Oh, staff uniform. So there's a new tab. Perfect. So you could, and that's nice that they kept the default if you ever want to go back to it. Apply. So for all of, so you can select. So how do you apply it to all of them?
Yeah, so you change the colors and then you press apply to staff, and then it will automatically.
Oh, gotcha. So sorry, I misread that. I thought that was saying you could like do one of them and apply it to all of them, but you're just saying it's just any of the people who are actually in your zoo on staff would get that. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and you can then also
To newly hired.
You can do it in this view, and then you can basically say, okay, I want one specific staff member to have a completely different color.
Gotcha.
And,
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. Let's look at the vet here. So you can click on them and actually.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. See, this is the kind of flexibility that's incredible. So.
Oh my God! It's the other man, the other myth, the other legend. It's Masked Bandit.
Oh, nice. I don't think he probably hasn't been on a zoo stream in ever, maybe. Yeah, so that's a great feature. There's actually even more flexibility than what they had in, well, maybe not, because this staff member, oh no, they've got all kinds of colors. So in in Planet Coaster, we didn't even have this kind of, this level of flexibility for uniforms. So this is awesome, very welcome. I will spend a few minutes when I open up Tivoli next time, giving everybody the exact same uniform. So, what are you? Are you going to have yours separate for each role they have, or is everyone going to have the same gear on? I mean, I guess they're going to vary a little bit because of the clothing type or whatever. But
yeah, exactly. The thing that we're gonna do probably in Saint Reginald is, well, we've in the latest episode I made a food court with some food trucks, and each food truck has the same color. Each vendor has the same color as the food truck.
oh, nice, that's smart.
Yeah, they're all themed after projects from a YouTuber here in the chat. So thank you. I'm super hard to hear. Is this better now?
That sounds good. I mean, well, I guess I'm not a great barometer because I can hear you fine through my speakers, but
all right, okay. So yeah, we're gonna do staff colors like for the entire zoo, but we're also gonna probably like take some individuals, give them like an older style of uniform, or like a uniform that's been dirty, like stuff like that.
Nice.
Is it better, Domas, John? I hope it is.
Seems I just pulled it up on my iPad and it seems like it's okay.
Okay, sweet. So it's just John messing with me again.
Yeah.
Should have known. Should have known. I touched this building. I should have known.
All right, so let's adopt a couple of these goobers.
Yes.
Put them in. We could put them in the big one. Oh, why is that invalid? Probably not. Oh, that's why. Very, very, very good at this game. That's why it was not. That was not connected there. So now it should work.
This is the exact same issue that we had last time.
Yeah. Wait, did I not adopt them? I guess not.
Oh, you have a black one as well.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Yeah. Just adopt all of them.
There we go. All right, so we got those guys. What else do we have? We have the... Where's the house cat?
Oh, the sun cat. Yeah.
No, that's a house cat for sure.
Yeah. You need to go to the other...
There we go.
Yeah, no, you're in the animal
There
storage, so you're not going to find anyone.
All right.
Oh, there's a slight delay. Okay.
Sand cat. Okay. Yeah, that's a house cat.
Yeah. Those are really, really cool.
So you were, this is one you were looking forward to, right? So I guess that there's one animal in particular you were looking forward to.
I was really, really looking forward to the porcupine, actually.
Okay, let's
that
look
one.
at that guy next.
That one was the, yeah. That was the perfect one.
Is there, like, particularly because you needed the animal for a project, or you just like them?
I like them, and if you go and watch like lists of zoo animals, then the porcupine are always like on the top of the list, and they're very common in zoos. And I've never really had them in a zoo game. Like Zoo Tycoon 2 had them as a mod, but it was never as good as they look now. I mean, the model is also like years old at this point, so
Right.
I can't really judge that. But yeah, the porcupine was always like that one animal that I never had in a zoo game, and I've always been like, I really hope they add it in this game, so I'm really happy to see it.
So while I'm doing all this, what are your overall thoughts on the animals? Both selection and quality of the models.
Oh, you're going in right for the kill right away. Okay. Well, I have this one rule, and that's always judge a pack for what it is and not for what it could have been, because I could go on and say like, oh, I wanted that animal or this animal. When it comes to the animal selection, I still stand by what I said in Goron's St. Reginald's video. In 5 years, when I'm still playing this game, because I'm a zoo nerd and I'll never let this game go, I won't regret a single animal that's in this pack. Like, each of these animals is an animal that's somewhat common in zoos, or is like a nice animal to have in a zoo. So I'm very, very happy with the animal selection long
Nice.
term. Short term, I think I would have gone for some different animals, but yeah, it's when it comes to quality, when in terms of the animals, because that's also the other part of your question. We are at a point in this game where you can basically expect quality from Frontier. Like, we're no longer at a point where we're gonna get an animal that's absolutely like is ugly or doesn't work at all. So I wasn't really worried when it came to that. There is one animal that I'm slightly disappointed by, but I'll talk about that once we see it.
Okay.
But it's fine, and I hope they can fix it. But otherwise, it's one. The dromedary camel, for instance, is one of those animals that simply is one of the best ever made in this game. So it's insane how they keep like making things better with each DLC. I don't know how you messed up that.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's not. We'll go back in a second, or maybe we'll just toss the rhino in there with them.
Yeah, or you can just toss
or the ass.
Yeah, in the camel exhibit. It's fine. We're done.
All right.
Gotta get in one roller coaster reference whenever
There
I
you
can.
go. All right, I'm going to also just do a very broad swath of paints here so we can get rid of the tall grass.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you just referenced the camels, let's start there.
Yeah.
So I'll be completely transparent with you. Prior to playing this game, I did not know there was more than one kind of camel. So I thought it was one hump and two hump. That's what I thought it came down to.
You thought the males had two humps and
Well, I don't even know about that. I just was like, some of them got two, some of them got one. I don't know.
yeah. So there's two different species. This one is the one from Africa. The other one, basically from Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is also really cool because it's been introduced in Australia. So there's actually a living population of dromedary camels in Australia. And I actually went to the zoo yesterday with Goron and saw an exhibit where they actually showcased that, which is really, really cool. But regardless of that, this is one of the most beautiful animals that we've gotten so far. Like,
Nice.
this is absolutely spot on. It has like 8 variants in total. It has like the dark one, it has a white one, it has a piebald one. It's yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's
the textures are really, really good. Like, the one thing I do know from having seen these in person is like you get the shaggier stuff on top here.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job. Even the way the light hits it, like, changes brown color kind of as you go. Yeah.
And we are at the point now that the DLC animals often are like, I don't want to say that they are better than the original animals, but they are just in a completely different style. These are much more like photorealistic compared to the more stylized ones we've gotten at the start, and I think they've just gotten better at this style, which I really, really, really enjoy.
It's interesting you said, like, I agree, they are obviously just laying in his own poop. They are more realistic, but they still, maybe it's just because they are inside of a computer game, but they still don't feel out of place with like the cartoony nature of the peeps.
Yeah, no, and I think I still think that that was one of the better ideas of Frontier.
Oh yeah, like not trying to do realistic people.
Yeah, because that never ages well.
No.
So this is already, this is fine.
We got protesters. Great.
As usual.
Okay.
You can just put on like the creative preset and you'll be fine. But yeah, this is another really nice animal, and I hope you don't get demonetized for me saying ass on.
It's okay. Let's be honest. About 10 people are gonna watch this. So.
Hey! There's 11. Oh wait, yeah,
Sweet.
I'm one of those. So 10 people. Hi everyone. Thank you. Yeah, this is the Somali wild ass, which is also a really interesting animal. And it's like, when I have to describe this pack, and if I compare it to like North America Animal Pack, Wetlands, Grasslands, I feel like those packs gave us a bunch of animals and a bunch of like animals from new niches that we didn't have before. This pack doesn't really do that. It gives us, like, if you're really, really pessimistic about it, it only gives you one new niche, which is a small cat. If you're more optimistic about it, it's two, because you get, okay, capybara and porcupines are both large rodents, but they're different animals.
Right. Yep. It's not like they reused a rig there or anything.
No.
Yeah.
And like the other animals, they are very much the animals that we already had representation of those niches, which I, in the long term, really appreciate to have the variation for.
Yep.
Because I don't want to, I know that I'm going to make 10, 20, 30 zoos, and I don't want to have a zebra in all of my zoos. I'll want to have something like the Somali wild ass, and that's going to be cool as well. So being able to switch that up in the future is something that will help with the longevity of this game.
Nice. Yeah, and I think, I think it's nice too, because especially early on, people were waiting kind of with bated breath for what the next animals might be, hoping that there was a specific one for their project, and now as we have a much wider variety and even different variations of species, then, people don't have to kind of force it, like I know there was times early on where you would kind of use, like, so let's say you wanted, this kind of camel, and you were just kind of forced to maybe make it work with the Bactrian camel, or use a mod that was maybe, not as nice looking. So,
I mean, didn't you at one point put in an Asian rhino in your savannah because you didn't have the actual rhino species?
No, I had thought about it. I did not, though. I did not end up doing it because it wasn't that. After they came out with that Africa pack right around the time I was finishing the savannah, so it worked out. It worked out really nicely.
It was Ruble who did that. Yeah, Rudy. I mean, too many Rus in this community. One has to go. So yeah, and that brings us to your house cat?
Yeah, this is a house cat. I don't see. Look, that's a house cat. I don't care what anyone says. It's taking a nap. Sit that thing on your lap. That's a house cat.
It's a really beautiful animal. I think my only feedback would be that the head is only slightly too big. But it's one of those cases, like if you're going to look at if you're gonna look up pictures of this animal, you'll find pictures where the head is exactly this shape, and there's going to be pictures where it's not. So it can be a bit of individual variation, but in the end, I think that it might have been better if it was slightly smaller. I also think that you're really going to have to change the settings of your game to creative, because I think the rhino will escape from the glass barrier.
Yep. This just makes it more interesting. So we're just gonna.
It actually just did.
Oh
it
my
did
God.
It without me.
That's hilarious. All right, get back in there. Get back in there.
The sand cat is quite a nice animal. I really enjoy it.
This is hilarious. Do I have to delete it?
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
think
All right.
put it back. Yeah, and then I think you'll have to go to your settings and switch to creative preset
There.
so
Hold
that
on.
escaping and is turned off.
It does make it more entertaining, though. Let's be honest. Oops.
People came for us and stayed for the chaos.
All right. Okay. Let's get everyone back in their respective homes here. Okay, alrighty. So anyway, I mean, again, not knowing much about animals, this is not one where it's like so far off like the Binturong. I know everyone was like, that was the one where they
No.
literally changed it before the update, right?
Yeah. This is a small imperfection, and this is one of those animals where I go like, look, the quality of the textures and the model is so good that I can look past the inaccuracy of a slightly bigger head than it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be. Um, that being said, if they would ever think about changing it, then cool, that's fine. But I won't. I won't be like, oh no, the animal is ruined. I'll never be able to
Right,
use it.
right.
No, like no,
Nice. Well,
that's
you
fine.
wouldn't be like that anyway, even if that was the case. Um, all right,
uh,
so this is one that I was actually happy to see, just because I've always liked these. I don't have a need for one inside of Tivoli or anything like that, but I just think that they're really really cool hoofed animal. I've always loved their horns and but that being said, I also don't know. Again, I'm assuming quality of the build is really really good.
yeah, yeah. There's very little I can say about these. Like I know some people have said things about, oh yeah, that the posture isn't completely correct. For me, it's okay, it's fine. But yeah, the horns are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so cool.
Um, and it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I wish we had those horns as scenery pieces because
Oh
they look
yeah.
absolutely beautiful. Um, so like, if anyone of Frontier is watching this and you're like, hey, we want to add some scenery props and we no longer know what to do, just cut off the horns of a bunch of animals and give us
Yeah.
that as props. Oh my god, I would be so happy.
Or even like mounts of of these guys. Like that's something I wonder if I'm assuming at the end of development, and this is a very
Google,
very
are you
large
still there?
assumption.
I
Yeah,
can't hear you.
can you hear
Yeah,
me?
okay. Yeah, now I'm
Yeah.
back.
I was
Professionals.
gonna say assuming that. And this is a large assumption, assuming that at the end of this development that they're going to introduce something like the theme makers toolkit where mods don't break the game basically, right?
Mhm.
Or at least I should say scenery mods don't. That's something that I could see lots of opportunity where, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't know this because I don't know how to mod, but I'm assuming it wouldn't be that difficult to like open something like this and
No.
take those and turn them into scenery pieces.
No. And
Nice.
I I could even I can work a little bit with Blender and stuff. I'm not
Hmm.
really good at it, but even I could do it. So I'm 100% sure that there's like a bunch of modders that can do that, and
Nice.
it'll be awesome.
Cool. So another Gazelle variety. So this obviously they probably use the same rig as the Thompson's Gazelle, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's slightly edited because these have a much longer neck,
hmm.
and it seems to work really well. Uh, I actually saw these in real life yesterday for the very first time,
Oh,
which was
nice. What zoo?
yeah. Zoo Park Overloon, which is in the Netherlands. Uh, so I had the chance to go watch some magnificent animals with one of my friends last weekend, and now I get to do it again, but only digitally.
Nice.
Uh,
Awesome.
best segue ever.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I really like this animal. It's an animal that has a lot of meaning in terms of conservation and conservation programs in real life. So yes, it's another gazelle, and I understand that some people are going to look at this and go, "Yeah, we already have one." But it's a nice animal to have in terms of zoo history and
Hmm.
zoo the zoo community as the actual zoo. So it's really cool to see these kinds of animals. It's the same with like the Przewalski's horse
Mm-hmm.
with the conservation pack. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh no, it's a horse," but like when I saw that animal, I was so glad we were gonna have it in game because it's such a big part of zoo history and of conservation history. So it has an actual meaning within the larger pictures of a zoo, which is really nice to have.
Yeah, I mean, I was personally excited about that one because it's such a huge part of Tivoli. But I know, I mean, I've been to several zoos, and I think there's only maybe one or two that I can think of that didn't have one. So,
Oh,
um, seems like it's a fairly common one to have in the U.S. So, yeah, this is one that I also have seen at several zoos before.
yes.
So, and this one I think, again, just referencing my own knowledge of seeing them and looking at photos. I mean, it seems like they nailed this one too.
Yeah, for me, it's one of the better looking animals. I think. I've seen some criticism that people think that the quills should have been 3D. I don't really agree with that. I think it looks fine, and I wouldn't have done it differently myself. Um, and it's an absolutely beautiful animal, and it's the animal that I chose for the Saint Reginald Zoo episode.
Hmm.
Because there's this really cool thing, if you want to know this about these animals. They once they're on a plateau that's 80 centimeters high, they won't jump off. So you can basically just put them on a concrete plateau and put them there, and they won't jump off. And you can basically remove all the fences around them, and people could just be on eye level with them,
Oh, cool.
and they won't do anything. And that's really cool. And it's something that's been done in several smaller zoos in Europe, and something that I also did in St. Reginald. And it's a really, really cool exhibit concept that opens a lot of possibilities, which I really like. But yeah, the animal
Yeah, I'm
overall.
just looking at the details here, and it's so impressive. Like, I mean, I guess I don't spend enough time really like looking at the work that they put into to these models. Like, you got the little claws and the whiskers, and even the bumps on the mouth there. I mean, color variation in the face and stuff. It's just really, really good. How do
Yeah,
you know, do you
yeah.
know how many people are working on Zoo still?
Uh, I saw a picture of the Frontier New Year's party, I believe, last year of the entire Planet Zoo team, and I think it was like 20,
Okay,
25.
so a fair amount still. Could be
Yeah,
less
yeah,
today, obviously, right? But
yeah.
fair amount.
I think by now it's probably has been cut again. Yeah, and now we've reached the one animal that I'm not so happy with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
This seems like a
And
crowd pleaser to me, so I'm surprised to hear you say that.
yeah. So so here's the thing. I'm model wise, I think it looks really good. Texture wise, again, looks really good. But the big issue for me is that it's really relying on the white rhinoceros rig and animation,
Mm-hmm.
which means that it keeps its head very low to the ground. And that's logical because white rhinos are grazers, so they keep their heads low to the ground because they eat grass. But black rhinoceros don't eat grass. They are animals that eat from bushes, so they eat mostly branches, and their head is it's like their posture is much different from what the white rhinoceros is. And that was for me like one of the reasons why I really wanted this as an official animal, because I knew that Frontier was able to do rig edits and animation changes that would make it look exactly like it's supposed to be in real life.
Mm.
And then to open the game and to see the animal and see like, oh no, it is basically a.
It's a reskin.
It's not a reskin because it clearly has like a new model and new textures, but it still uses the same old animations, which I just wish they hadn't. And I really hope that they can like adjust the rig a bit, so that it looks more like an actual black rhinoceros, because it's an animal that I really like, and it's an animal that's getting more and more uncommon in zoos
Mm-hmm.
because when you look at white rhinos are puppies. Like they're really kind and they're really nice to have and easy. I mean, easier to have in your zoo. Black rhinoceros can be very hard, and they can be very kind too once you get to know the specific animal and once they start to trust you. But they are difficult animals to keep, and you can usually only keep one in like a big exhibit. So if that animal dies, you basically have a big giant exhibit that you have to put something else in, or you have to wait until you get another rhino. So
Mm.
and with white rhinos, they are like more herd animals, so that's also easier. Like if one of them dies, you still have the rest of the herd. So there's a reason why zoos are shifting from these, but they are really cool animals and they're really beautiful. So yeah,
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. So you know, it's a little bit of the execution of it, but also the fact that in terms of how it fits into a zoo is, like you said, less and less common.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I really like to have it in the game because
Mm.
it's like it has like again that very unique zoo component. And it just makes me sad because I was really hyped for this animal, and I really hope that Frontier can still adjust that in like a future patch.
Mm.
Um, because at this point in time, for me, it was a bit of a, it was a bit sad when I saw it. That's I have to be honest about that. Like
Good.
I always believe that in a balanced review anyway. Like I don't believe in giving a review that's only positive
Right.
because nothing is ever perfect, and I
Well,
don't expect
I mean, and
Frontier
I
to be.
think I think that they, you know, they probably appreciate feedback when it's at least constructive. You know, it's not
Oh
something
yeah,
you're
yeah,
just,
yeah.
which I'm that's what you're doing. You're providing constructive feedback, and you know, it's always
I
the people who just complain and don't offer any sort of feedback. That's when I'm sure they tune it
yeah,
out. But someone like you, I'm sure they take it to heart. So
I can actually 100% confirm that because I've been actually told that by CMs in real life. um, that was something that they hugely appreciated. Like they really like it when you give criticism, just if you're nice about it, and that's also logical because
right,
you don't turn into a soulless robot when you start your working day. I don't, and you don't either.
right,
So if you're a jerk to me, then I'm not gonna help. Like if someone in my team would be a jerk to me, then I'm not gonna help them when they're stuck. Um, I mean, I should because I'm a team lead, but that doesn't matter at this
right,
point. But like, if you're a jerk to me, then don't expect me to like you or to respect your opinions. But like, if you're nice about it, then like, yeah, then they're open to hearing your criticism. Doesn't mean that they can always do the thing that you ask, because there's financial reasons and there's technical reasons and there's marketing reasons and there's things that we only have like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the development of this game. But they do really appreciate the fact that that you give constructive feedback and they try to listen where possible.
yeah. And we ran into that a lot in with Planet Coaster during that development phase of, you know, people would just complain and not offer any sort of constructive feedback. And it's like, you have to remember, like you said, you're not a soulless drone when you go into work. That like
Yeah.
people earnestly put in hours and hours of time to do this stuff, and hard work, and you know, their craft that's been worked on for years and years and years, and you can't just go in and crap on it. So and
Yeah,
expect,
no.
and you can't go in and do that and expect any sort of positive you know, type of development to come from it. So
Exactly. And like it's not because and like I've been a developer for 8, 9 years. Oh my god, I don't know anymore. I think it's 8. I think it's been 8 years now, and I can confidently say that I'm a good developer, but that doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes and I don't write bugs. I wrote one yesterday, and I'm gonna write more in the future.
mm-hmm.
But if someone is like, if you're a jerk to me about it, then I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But if someone just goes, hey, I found a bug, and do you think you can fix it? I'll be on it right away. And I think the developers at Frontier are pretty much the same kind of people.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, it's evident in the fact, especially you look at the life cycle of the development of this game and of Planet Coaster, and they clearly, you know, I think both of them went through a series where it's like, okay, broad and mass appeal as much as possible, but then we're really going to do our best efforts to address the needs and wants of like the hardcore player, and it's almost like a slow transition between those, like a chromatic effect almost, where it's like really broad appeal, and then it gets more specific and niche through the development cycle. And most developers wouldn't care enough to listen and do those things. And then not only do them, but do them well is always appreciated. So,
Oh yeah, like um, I talked about that quite recently. I don't know if a lot of people still remember. The people who were here probably remember it. We made a list all the way back when the Aquatics pack was released. A Bro Nation list. A bunch of people joined in. We tried to curate the list and phrase it in a way that we knew, like, hey, a developer will be able to read this and won't be like, oh no, I can't do this, so I'm not doing that. Or it's like phrased in a very stupid way. And like, if you look at that list, I am confident enough to say that 90% of that list has been added to the game, and that's incredible.
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, and we had a similar experience with Planet Coaster too. I mean, same thing. It took a while, and then eventually they got to the end of their life cycle where the resources didn't warrant continued development, and then they just gave us everything we wanted, more or less, through the Theme Maker's Toolkit. So, in terms of developers, I mean, people should really appreciate the type of company that Frontier is, and not only the artistic skill of the people who work there, but their willingness to always listen to the community. So I know I appreciate it, and I look forward to that with Planet Coaster 2 if that ever happens. So.
I'm just gonna say, Marco, thank you so much. I think Ruble is busy with the stream, but he left a really cool comment. He doesn't have time to watch the stream right now, but he just wanted you to
Oh, that's nice. I just saw that, so thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Especially thankful for everyone who still sticks around on my channel when we go 3 months between videos. So
I think we all understand you have a life. But I actually wanted to get back to something that you were saying. I personally think we are slowly reaching the end of Planet Zoo, and I think one of the current features that we got in the update, and this is again, I'm patting myself on the back for this brilliant segue. But the new camera features.
Oh yeah, yep.
Those are at the bottom. The
camera effects.
Yeah, so you have the free look mode. If you press on that.
Oh yeah, you can use scenic mode.
Yes. So scenic mode is one of them.
So what is?
Yeah. So if you put scenic mode and you place it down.
So you got spin. What's spiral?
So spin basically
zoom in and out.
Yeah, spin just does a small spin, and spiral slowly makes bigger circles, which is really cool. Okay. And I think this was a feature that they, together with like the camera path tool, I think that was a feature that's always been in the game from the start. But that they just made available for all of us. And I think that might be... I wouldn't be surprised if things like the scenario editor is one of the next ones. So if you now press add keyframe, every time it will add a camera at the position you were currently at. And now you can turn the camera the way you want.
So go down here, and then what?
Yeah. And if you now press plus again on that menu,
and then
it will.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and now it has made, and you can now make an entire tour, and exactly.
That's super cool, and it's so smooth too. You don't get any of the issues with like frame rate and stuff. That's really, really cool. That's such a cool.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have had this and then you can even edit it after the fact. That's awesome. Can you like curve it at all?
Yeah. It's it has all the X and Y tools that the
Oh, I see. There's the camera.
scenery has.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can basically move that around the way you want it to, and
So you could go up and over, and then like really.
yeah.
Let's just do a dramatic one here. Well, I mean, I guess you'd have to add one over here, right? So if I wanted it to like curve more, I'd have to put this
You'll have to add another one
over here.
I don't know if you can add one like in the middle. I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. Oops. Whoa.
Yeah, and if you now
okay. That's how you get it to do something curved.
Do curved. Yep, just like that.
Okay, now let's try it. Nice, that's really cool. I can't wait to see what people do with this. There's going to be so much creativity on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one, and then I think there was someone had seen something. I think it was like an error or something, or maybe it was someone posted something on Bro Nation where you were able to edit the terrain paints.
Yeah. That's been in the game for quite a while now. But it was simply the Planet Coaster menu, so you couldn't actually swap out textures.
Right, so you couldn't do it. So that's something that I've been waiting for is that functionality. That was a huge game changer in Planet. They did that much earlier with Planet Coaster. They didn't do that at the end. You had the ability. The thing that was changed towards the end, though, is you did have the ability to expand the map. So, like, you know how with the free build mod, you can build outside of the actual. Like you'd be able to build in this area out here. That's what they changed something where you could basically expand the actual buildable border all the way out to basically it probably would be here in this example. So if you think they're nearing the end, what do you think? Like 1 or 2 more DLCs, or do you have a guesstimate there?
My personal, I think that probably we got 2 more left.
Okay.
I think there's no concrete proof here, not at all.
Right.
Like there's no, and we're never gonna get any. We're just gonna see it. Like at the end of the year, we're gonna get another financial document, financial report, and that will basically mention if we get more paid DLC next year or not. But I think that we're almost at the end, and I think 2 more is probably a realistic estimation, because we're at a point where like there's a bunch of new games that we know of, but there's a bunch of new games that we don't know of as well. There's this game is already 7 at max 9 years old, because there's a large time of development that we did.
Oh, right. Yeah, so by the time they announced it and released it, there'd been, they'd been working on it for years at that point,
Yeah. So, like, it's very probable that we're running into technical limitations that we currently can't see. I constantly refer to the development process here as an iceberg. We know about 10% about the entire development process behind Planet Zoo. All the other stuff we don't know. I think that they also said that they are going to launch another creative own IP in 2024, I believe. That could potentially be a Planet Coaster 2. I would be very happy for you.
There's a whole lot of people who would be very, very happy about that.
I guess then we're making a series where Wyatt, me, and Goron finish Tivoli.
Well, I'm. This is very wishful thinking, but October, 24th, City Skylines 2. That's kind of where I'm focusing on now. So I better get my act together and wrap this puppy up. So.
But yeah, yeah. I think I don't see them. I don't see them working on two big Planet games at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not realistic. And I think Planet Zoo has had a good run. It has had more DLCs and updates than Planet Coaster had.
Yeah,
So like
and the
with the people.
caliber, I mean, the caliber of mods that people put out too. I mean, if they make it
Mhm.
just easier to, like I said, implement scenery mods and animal mods without breaking the game, then this could have a huge lifespan. I think too, I would still be playing Planet Coaster if it had weather effects, I think, and a
Mhm.
little bit more of
Yeah.
this atmospheric effect in the clouds and stuff like that. Slightly higher graphical, fidelity, but that I would still be playing that game. But because this is
Yeah.
so beautiful, it's hard for me to
To
spend
not
time
play.
playing in it, right? And just I've gotten spoiled now with the free build mod, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
The only thing that I'm now wondering, like apparently in one of the financial documents, like a while ago, someone said that on the forums. I haven't been able to check it, but somewhere in a financial document it was mentioned that when a Planet game or when a creative IP game at Frontier gets to the end of its cyclus, they basically go for one more big DLC, and they've done that for Planet Coaster with the Ghostbusters pack,
Mm-hmm.
and that one was also more expensive than the other packs, right?
Right. Part of that is probably IP that they're
Yeah,
paying for.
IP, yeah. But like the Jurassic World last pack was also bigger and also more expensive. So there is a pattern there. So that makes me wonder if we get like another pack at the end of the year that might be slightly bigger.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
sweet. Especially, I mean, I really appreciate when you come on these types of videos because I just don't know enough about animals to make this interesting without. But, I'm obviously a scenery type person. That's what really gets me excited about a DLC. Unless I happen to need one of the animals that's in the pack. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be nice if we got maybe one more, and then sort of a final one with almost like a final one that would have almost as many animals as this, plus a bunch of scenery, maybe that hasn't been added into the game yet, would be sweet.
Yeah, that is honestly what I've been hoping. So ever since someone said that, and then I checked the other games, and I saw, oh yeah, it kind of checks out. I've been hoping that maybe at the end of the year we get like a zoo pack with like 10 animals, of which were Planet Zoo's like give us a Coati, give us a Tasmanian Devil, and then just give us some classic zoo scenery pieces. And that would for me be the perfect ending to this game. No, the perfect ending would have been with aquariums and birds,
Right.
but I'm gonna. I've come to peace with the fact that we might not get those, and that what we have so far is already really good. I mean, I come from a game where I didn't have a 3D gizmo, where I didn't have blueprints. If I wanted things to be symmetrical, I had to just place it by hand and hope that it was symmetrical.
Right.
So that if that gives you an idea how happy I'm already am with this game, it's yeah, it's already been the best zoo game I've played so far. So even if we don't get birds, even if we don't get fish, I'm happy with what the game has so far, and whatever they add now, I'm happy with it.
I mean, it seems like this game for people who are big zoo fans was what Plinko was for people who are big theme park fans, and people who played Roller Coaster Tycoon. Growing up, like it reignited that passion. I know it did for me. And then I'm assuming the same thing, people who played Zoo Tycoon, this kind of reignited that, and it just took it to a whole another level of what we can do and hope for. Domez in the chat said Ruble announced Planko too. I wish I could, my friend. I wish I could. So was there any? Sometimes they'll throw in some some scenery as a part of the free
Yes.
update? Was there some nature?
There was some plants. Yeah. Creos, Creo. If you type in that.
Oh, did they give more of these? The creosote bush
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're.
Was the dry ones?
Yeah. So the dry ones, but there's 3 more. Yeah, those ones you just went over with your
Here,
cursor.
6,
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Oh, those
So
are
those
nice.
are the dry ones, and then the other ones are the ones without flowers. So 4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
Oh, and these have flowers. Oh, that's nice. That's a really nice addition. I'm gonna have to go back and because I loved using this, but
I know.
the flowers are a bit much.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I've said this on on Twitter, and I hope they didn't take offense because I really didn't mean it like that. But these are the perfect, boring, and dull
yes.
bushes
Yep.
that we all love.
Yep. Yeah, these
I'm
are great.
so happy.
These are
Yeah,
really great.
These are fantastic. And then there's a few more. There's the, oh my god, how do I even pronounce it? I'm just gonna spell like the
That's
first
fine.
3 letters. So NIT, the Nitraya, whatever.
And you need to, oh, right here,
Yeah.
Nitriaria, or
Yeah,
something like that.
Nitraya. Yeah. So we've gotten 3 dry versions and 3 extra bush versions.
So we've had these, right?
Yeah, the first 3 came along with the Africa pack.
So these are, ooh,
update.
these are nice too. I like some of the dead that's in there. Like some of the dead branches that are in there. That's nice.
Yep.
And then the fully dry. Man, you could use, if someone was totally insane and want to do like a winter version of a zoo, they could use these dry things for like, you could build your own trees.
Yeah.
Like make the deciduous trees without leaves on them.
Uh-huh. If only we were friends with someone who loves plants. If only that person wasn't super busy.
Right.
He's alive. I've checked. He's alive and kicking. But yeah, and Mike would have loved these. Yeah,
Nice.
so that's
it.
Yeah, there's also the signs of the animals.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's probably in building
Yeah, that's in construction.
construction. It's under, oops, content pack, arid. Yeah. Which again, I think we mentioned this in the last video. I wish they would just do these styles for every single animal. They're so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so good. That rhino one is amazing. You could almost use that as the white rhino. Like if you had the white rhino in your zoo, it's like, I guess the horn's different, right? So.
Yeah, and here is actually in the sign you can see what I meant when it comes to the posture.
Yeah, much more upright.
Yeah. So that was that's the one thing. But yeah, I love this style, and I know
me
it's
too.
not.
It's really good.
I know it's not financially viable. I know it, but that doesn't change the fact that I would really love to see like a full pack with all the animals, and I would genuinely pay for that.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah,
they're incredible. Yeah, sweet. Well, so overall thoughts. I mean, I know for me, if this was me personally, I probably would not get this just because of, like, I'm not as in depth of a zoo player as you are, right? Like, I would get this if I needed some of these animals, but if I didn't, it's probably one that I would skip. But that's generally true for most of the animal packs. So for you, someone who is likely to use all of these, what's your verdict on this?
If the people who watch my stuff and who know me and who are like me, they want to have this complete zoo experience, and you're gonna want to have these. Even for the porcupine alone, to be honest. But the dromedary camel is really good. The sand cat is really good to have like a different kind of cat. The Somali wild ass is also a very nice animal, and I my rating system goes from must have, buy now, buy next, and buy when on sale. And that's mostly like if you the must-haves are the ones that you need right away, and the buy now is if you're considering to buy a DLC, buy one of these, and buy next whenever you want to buy another pack. I would put this one on either buy now or buy next, because I think it's what I said earlier in the stream. I think this is a life extending pack, so you can have the other packs and have fun with that for a while, and then if once you get bored of the animals that you have there, this gives you a bunch of new animals you can experiment with. But it also has a bunch of common zoo animals, so if you want that, go buy it now then, I guess, because
Yeah. No, I like that rating scale because, especially true from the standpoint that if people are watching this or still watching either one of our channels, they're still obviously engaged with the game, and so it's not necessarily a question of buy never. Like they're probably going to get it at some point. So I really like that rating scale of, like again, if you need one of these animals for your zoo, it's probably a buy now, right? And then with some of the scenery stuff, like a lot of those for me have been like must have, like drop what you're doing and buy it right now. So this for me, if I put it on that scale, would be like buy when it's on sale. So
yeah, and I that's why I like, because it's for everyone, it's different. Like for me, the Arctic pack is on buy when on sale, but if you want to have a zoo with a polar bear in it, then it's a must have.
Right. Yep.
Like, and that's why I like the scale, because it doesn't go for like, ooh, what is the best pack, and try to be objective, but we all have our subjective reasoning behind what we like and what we don't like. So I don't think there's a possibility to make like a perfect scale, but I think this one fits really well because the people who watch us, as you said, they want to go for the full zoo experience, and then it's more a matter of when do I buy which pack. And for me, I understand, like, if you're more of a scenery person, buy this one on sale. You won't regret it. If you are more of an animal person, I say buy now, because I think it's a really good pack, and nice. I think you'll enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for hopping on with me and going through this. I think it's genuinely better for my audience to have you here when we go through packs like this. But yeah, I mean, would love to hear other people's feedback and what they think of the pack. And yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely worth hearing multiple opinions on it. I'm sure. I mean, we've seen some of that on Bro Nation, but. I mean, overall, it seems like one of those packs where you're either really excited about it or you're kind of like, meh.
Yeah, so, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep. So
Thank
awesome.
You so
well,
much for having me, man.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, like I said, the people tuning in are better served with you here. So thank you for doing it. In terms of my channel, I have been working, I spilled the beans a little bit. I've been working in a guest build, and that will hopefully be wrapping up. I think it'll take me about another week. And then I'm going to be focused back on Tivoli. After the last episode, I started to just work on tidying up as much as I possibly could. There's some work I have to do to the African forests, and then lots and lots of backstage stuff and like infrastructure around the city and that kind of thing. And then I think I'm going to have on, no one will know this from YouTube, but if you're a member of Bro Nation, you'll know Beezy does a phenomenal job with like ape exhibits. So I think I'm going to bring him in to help with the primate panorama and the gorilla and orangutan exhibits. So and then once that is all done, that's probably going to be 2 or 3 episodes to finish all of that. And once that's done, then Tivoli should have a nice little bow, and we'll probably do like a launch stream with everyone who is a guest that can make it, and do kind of a little tour through the zoo. And yeah, it'll be pretty cool to actually finish. I guess I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself because it's not done, but I do think I'm gonna finish it.
You're
You
gonna
know,
get help from me
none
as well.
right. None of my Planko projects got finished, so it'll be cool to have something up on the workshop. So. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and anyone who's watching this after the fact, thank you for watching, and I'll see you probably in a couple weeks.
And thank you, Domus, by the way.
Oh, nice. Oh, thank you, Dumbass. That's super nice of you. Really appreciate
Domus
it.
is way too kind.
Yeah,
He's
way too kind. This stream was not worthy of that. So thank you very much.
You're awesome. You
cool.
really are.
Well, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
All right.